Hey everyone, so my name is Sean Cecil with the Oculus Institute, and today I'm going to answer a question that people ask all the time. How do I make more money? Okay, so this is a really interesting question because normally this isn't the kind of thing where, I'm not the guy who normally teaches people how to make the most money for the least amount of time, because most people who are looking to do that are looking for these kind of business opportunity stuff, and they end up doing all these MLM scams and stuff in the hope that they can work 5 hours a week and be a millionaire and all this kind of stuff. And that's just not reality, right? Normally what I do is I help people create careers that are personally fulfilling as well as lucrative. But of course, yeah, you have a certain lifestyle, you want to maintain that. And if you're not trying to maximize your time and minimize your work, if you're trying to take something that is valuable to you, something that you find fulfilling and make more money on it, then this is the video for you. So at the end of the day, there are only two things that you need to do in order to make more money. And if you do one of them, it's not going to work. You have to do both of them. And I talk about this in my upcoming book, Soulfire, I call it the winning formula, right? Because everybody thinks there's all these things you got to do. You got to go get this credential, and then you got to go to business school, and you got to do this, and you have to have a bazillion people who are supporting you in this raving tribe and all this other kinds of stuff. And people make it really, 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 really complicated to make more money. But it's actually not that complicated at all. So it's a pretty simple process. The first thing that you need to do is you need to add value to other human beings, right? The fundamental premise of capitalism, the fundamental premise of our society is voluntary exchange. And that means if somebody else is going to give you money, you have to do something for them that matters to them more than the amount of money that they're giving you, right? A lot of people, are trying to look for just a set of tasks that I'm going to follow this system from this, business opportunity. I'm going to do this thing. And they don't think about who they're really adding value to. And because they're so focused on what their paycheck is going to be, they don't see that there's a disconnect between the money that they're expecting and the amount of value that they're adding. If you want to actually have something where you're making really great money, you have to start with how do you serve people? How do you make people's lives better? What problem do you solve? How do you make the world a better place? Right? If you do that, then you're not going to be fighting against those headwinds. You're not going to find yourself buying into MLM scams and all this other kind of stuff, because you're going to know what's authentic and what's not. It's a great test to see what's real and what isn't. What's a scam and what isn't. Are there people who are actually benefiting from this enough that they're willing to pay this? That they're walking away going, because of what I got, I'm happy to turn over this money. Or is it something that's more reliant on trickery and salesmanship and trying to shame people into doing stuff, and psychological manipulation and marketing tactics and all this other kind of stuff? If it's based on trying to trick people out of money or extract the most from them, then at the end of the day, it's going to fall apart and it's not going to work. And sadly, that's what most people try to push. That's what most people buy into. And that's something you should stay away from. Focus on service. Focus on doing what you can for another human being, on providing them something that solves some kind of business or life problem and leaves everybody walking away feeling like they've won. So if you have step one, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make a lot of money, though. There are a lot of people who do nothing but sacrifice themselves for others. They do nothing but be altruistic, be generous, be giving, and they still don't make a lot of money. They still find themselves struggling to pay their bills. And the reason you have that is because they fail on step two. And step two is learning how to monetize the value that you're adding, right? So this is the aspects of persuasion. This is the aspects of psychology. This is the aspects of marketing and sales and all that kind of stuff. But the key is you're not doing it in isolation. You're learning these skills only because you're trying to make sure that people who can actually benefit from what you're offering know about you, see the value that you bring, and are willing to hand over that money because they know it's going to make their lives better. Most people who are coming from this place of altruism, they don't feel confident putting themselves out there saying, yes, I can do this for you. They don't feel comfortable saying that with confidence. They don't feel comfortable delving into psychology and understanding what makes people make decisions and what doesn't make people make decisions. Because at the end of the day, they get focused on themselves and their mission and their viewpoint and the fact that they're trying to do good and they're trying to be good people. And at the end of the day, most people don't care. They want to know what's in it for me. So the key to this second step of how to monetize this is not to be tricky. It's not to be high pressure. It's to step into the shoes of the other person. It's to use empathy to see the world from their lens, understand what matters to them, and speak to that. Speak to their values. If you're actually adding value to them, you're actually doing something that makes their lives better, and that you're able to communicate that to them in their language, not in tricky marketing tricks and any of this kind of stuff, but in authentic, genuine, this is what you care about and this is what I can help you with, then you just put that on the table and then people will be happy to pay you. Now, of course, yes, you have to be willing to ask for what you're worth. A lot of people have hesitation because they feel that they're not worth it. They feel that they don't deserve that amount of money. They have all kinds of psychological blocks around money. And that falls into that second category of monetization, of how to monetize the value you're adding. Because if you don't ask for it, you're probably not going to get it, right? But at the end of the day, you just have to do those two things. You add value, and you convey it in a way that it's persuasive and that people will pay you money for that value, which means asking for it, which means deserving it. And at the end of the day, the amount of money that you're able to make from any given endeavor is going to be dependent upon which one of those two is the weakest. If you're not adding enough value, that's where it's going to get cut off. And then you're going to be exhausted, trying to push the sales, feeling horrible, feeling slimy, all that kind of stuff. And if you don't know how to monetize it, then you're going to be in the starving artist situation where you love what you do, but you can't pay your bills. So you have to make sure that both of them rise as high as they can. And you need to focus on whichever one is weaker. And by doing that, by filling in whichever gap is the one that's not serving you, you'll be able to maximize the amount of money that you make from any endeavor, and you'll still be making the world a better place because you're still adding that value with every single client and every single customer you work with. So I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. If you're interested in figuring out what kind of endeavor is actually going to bring the most fulfillment to you, what's actually going to cause you to want to get up in the morning, if you're looking for help trying to isolate that purpose, then I have a free presentation for you. You can go access it at www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. That's www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop, and it will cover how to isolate that purpose, how to figure out what you really want to do, and how to chart a path to get there from where you are right now. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and have a wonderful day.